Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. This time around, we're going to check out a couple of momentum stocks, and so we've called Mike Vodicka, our momentum stock analyst, to come in here again to give us a couple of momentum stock picks. Universal Forest Products, UFPI, the ticker symbol, is one that you want to highlight here. I'm guessing that they're in the forest products business.
Yeah, simply stated, they're involved in lumber production.
Okay.
And it's kind of an interesting company. I haven't seen too many companies like this before. They've been around since 1955, so they have a nice history. Mm-hmm. And the market cap is $839 million, so technically it's a small cap. But this is a stock that plays into the housing story.
How?
Well, I'll tell you how. Because this is a company that supplies builders with materials.
The lumber, right?
Yeah.
But building is down.
That's right. Absolutely. This company, they've taken a hit in the last year, but very recently things have begun to turn around for the company's share price, their earnings, and also on the housing front a little bit too, which I can go into a little bit more detail about that.
Okay, so we may be on the cusp of a turnaround. Is that what you're saying?
There's a lot of people, there's a lot of analysts on the street that are looking at some data that say, hey, you know what, this shows a stabilization point, and the biggest thing that they're looking at is something that came out just yesterday, which was July 29th,
right.
Was the Case-Shiller S&P Housing Index. And that's the closest watched housing index on the street.
Right.
And so what it does is it has a 10-city and a 20-city index, and it gauges average housing prices.
Right.
Now, the reading that we got 2 days ago was the first time that there was an actual increase in prices in 3 years on this index.
But that's for existing homes.
This was for just average home prices here.
Okay.
So
you say that's going to then transfer over into the building industry. Those
That's right.
prices are going to be lifted.
Yeah. Well, what it's done is it's put some optimism into companies like this that supply that industry. And typically, stocks are forward-looking, and this has already started to materialize in the fundamentals of this company.
Okay.
Second quarter earnings results, July 23rd, they weren't awesome. The profit and sales were down year over year, but they did beat on earnings. They produced 83 cents. A lot of the earnings came from cost cutting as opposed to actual sales growth.
What was the Zacks consensus on this one?
The Zacks consensus on this was 43 cents. So it was
so they beat by a wide enough margin.
Yeah, they had a pretty solid production on that. And then, as far as optimism goes, what we've seen is the share price has actually doubled in just the last 3 months. So you can see investors kind of looking ahead, trying to beat the curve on the share price. So
got it. And if you take a look at the chart, that kind of reflects it as far as the share price goes.
Yeah, the shares really took off in early March as the equity market took off also, and it's a product of optimism coming into the market. Investors are saying if the fundamentals are strengthening, then we're going to be looking for a rebound in housing, and this is a good place to find equity housing exposure.
All right, and then there is Spectra Energy Corporation, SE, the ticker symbol, which you wrote about recently as well. And again, I'll just go with they're in the energy sector.
Yes, they are. They do operate in the energy sector, and they specialize in nat gas, and it's a pipeline and storage company for natural gas.
Okay.
They actually have 18,000 miles of pipeline across the United States and Canada, primarily in Canada, but also in the United States. So
wow, that's a lot.
That's what I said, yeah. It's a $12 billion market cap, so this is a bigger company right here. Mm-hmm. And then again, this is a stock that's a play off of the energy story. Energy prices really started taking off again in March when stocks started picking up and the optimism started moving its way back into the market. We've seen a big spike in crude prices. We haven't seen as much of a spike in nat gas, but nat gas prices are up also. And that kind of price movement in those commodities will work its way directly into the share prices of companies like this.
Okay.
Now, they've reported their first quarter earnings May 5th, early May. They matched the Zacks consensus estimate at 33 cents per share.
Okay.
So that's solid production.
Right.
And then the next year estimate is very bullish. The Zacks consensus estimate, again, is $1.38. That'd be 24% earnings growth year over year. That's very solid. Mm-hmm. And then moving along to the valuation picture, you have the nice growth projection, but also you have reasonable value. It's the stock's trading at 16 times forward earnings. And that's right in line with the market, and you have the nice earnings projection.
And in pictures, it looks like what?
And the final piece of the puzzle is, again, the share price. And again, this is a stock that took off in early March. This is something we've seen from a lot of the stocks we look at. and it bottomed out at just about $12, and since then it's over 18. So we're looking at a 50% gain in 4 months.
Not bad.
It's pretty solid.
Do you own either one
No, I don't.
of these stocks? Alrighty. And we update Zacks Rank Buy stock ideas on Zacks.com each day. We put 4 new ones up there that we highlight for you every day of the week. So go to Zacks.com and look over in the upper right-hand corner of the homepage. That's where you will find all of the Zacks Rank Buy stock picks for the various investment categories. With Mike Vodicka, I'm Terry Ruffalo.